And the whole thing is about that. Hey, can we get more volume, please? No, it's not on here. It's the feed that we need louder, please. Pretty please. Hey, everybody, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Good evening.
I'll tell you what's going on is that just when I'd figured out how to like share this properly through Facebook, then everything's changed when I come back, and now I don't know how to share it. Too.
Nothing is ever the same, Shannon.
Never.
You can never go back again. Did you not know that? You should have known that. I have to put this on to see who's joining us because we don't have.
Oh, here we go.
Who doesn't
I
have
got
their
it. I
volume
got it.
turned all the way off?
That was
That's
me.
It's also me.
It was all of us, I think.
It was everybody in
we
the
were
room.
all doing that.
Whiz.
So Chauncey's on. Hey, Chauncey.
What up? What up, T-double-D?
I think we're the only people watching right now. That is us.
That's okay because the pop-up just came on, so it's going to take them a minute to pop, and plus we have to share. So
Did y'all hear about Facebook changing their name?
yeah, Meta.
What? No, I did not hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, look, All Things Universal said, hey, everybody.
Way to go. Oh my god.
Yeah, we do need to share this because there's literally nobody joining us right now. We could just
I
talk
know.
to ourselves.
As we normally do.
That's why I came anyway, was just to see your smiling faces.
Aw, that's so sweet. I mean, kind
Oh
of.
my gosh, that did not just happen.
What? What are you talking about?
That's supposed to be what's up.
All right.
All right, I posted it.
I'm there.
I'm not going to talk until other
Even-
people come
Ooh,
in.
that's cute.
You know what I mean? Oh, Tim Friesen's on. Old man Friesen. But it doesn't work when Shannon sings with it. Did you hear that? Let's
I know,
do it
I
again.
need to-
She
But like,
sings
get
too
right
well.
into it. No, it's
you
too
want me-
high. You know, no, just because you said it's in
You
your
want me to
range.
growl it?
Yes, ready?
Ooh,
1,
yes,
2.
growl.
Old man Friesen. There you go. That worked. The first story is on.
Of course.
Yes, the first story is on. And in the studio producing, before we get to that, we have to talk about some things here.
All right.
We have some visitors in the studio who are not always on.
Right.
And I love when Chris comes on the show.
Because he's funny.
Well, thank you.
Well, Chris is funny. I would have Chris on the show more if he'd, do it.
I mean, literally 5 minutes ago, you tried to kick me out of the studio and keep Chris.
And I would, and if we keep,
And you stand by that.
I stand behind that statement. But when Chris comes on, it's always good. And Chris does well with trivia as well.
Yes.
I guess I haven't paid attention to the trivia portion when Chris.
Oh,
But
rude.
you know what? That's
Few and far
because
between.
Bill is the one paying attention to the trivia, and I'm just
that makes
frantically
sense.
trying to type his answers.
We have such an odd thing with this live stream.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who love the trivia and can't wait for us to get to it. And then there are people who say you should really just not do the trivia.
People say that about everything on here.
Well, I know, and it's like, what do I do with that? And it's like the trivia at the end is really just because we don't have anything to talk about anymore.
Oh, we do.
Well, not that's going to be interesting.
Oh, it's always interesting.
Does Chauncey have to be here, Sandy? Can we get? I mean, he's just being argumentative.
Hey, Chancey, have a cookie, man.
Pat, would you have a cookie? By the way, I want to thank whoever brought. Was it the
Lindsay.
Kim? Who brought him? Who brought him? Sandy brought them in.
Oh,
The
Sandy
short story
did?
brought in the cookies,
Oh,
so
my
we're going to
goodness.
devour those. But also, so Chris Nugent is joining us. Everybody say yay. Yay.
There was much rejoicing.
No, there is. Listen, see what I mean? It's perfect. And he's got a great radio voice, too. You know what I mean? It's like, there was much rejoicing. It's perfect, bro. You need to be on more. For real.
So I've
Can I
not
can I
known-
introduce you first? Would
Oh,
that be
yeah,
all right?
sure.
I mean,
Sorry.
is that okay with you?
Could you shut up
Don't
for just a
apologize,
second?
it's fine.
Shannon
He's
the
being
Wise.
This is what happens when you get two hosts in at the same time.
I know.
See, right?
Two alphas.
Also in the studio today is the lovely,
The talented,
the one,
the beautiful,
the only
Shannon the Wise.
Shannon the Wise. Wow, your face is so dark.
Yeah.
I know.
You gotta flip that hat up.
I might need to turn it
turn
around.
it
Were you talking to her or me?
I was talking to her, but Shannon. For those of you who know Shannon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She just moved recently from Malala or from
Sad
from
panda.
Oregon
From
City,
Clackamas County.
to Indiana. Now, where in Indiana?
I live in Noblesville, which is just outside of Indianapolis.
Okay, so there's.
I'm wearing my Indianapolis t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So very good. And we were just talking, for those of you who may remember, way back to the beginnings of the live stream, when it was just Carla and I at the house, and I would do all those silly songs
Silly
on my
songs,
guitar.
yeah.
They were all from the Bob and Tom radio show, which originated in Indianapolis.
B.O.B. Bob.
And Haywood Banks is the guy who wrote most of those songs, and so there was that. But Shannon, welcome.
Thank
You
you.
wanted to say something.
Oh, I was just going to say, so I don't know if Chris remembers me, but we've actually known each other for like a long time.
Wow.
So his brother was like, a year behind me in school, I think. And we used to run in the same crowd. Donovan and I did.
I did not know you had a brother named Donovan.
Oh, yep, my older brother, 2 years older than me.
How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, we have to address something right off the bat.
I knew that was coming.
Okay, first of all, Brian Story, I'd like to say hi.
Hello.
So, hey to the first
To
story.
the first story.
We've sang Old Man Freezin'.
Old
Vicky Crowder,
Man
hello.
Freezin'.
Hello, Vicky.
What's up, Vicky?
Joy, we have some problems. Right off the bat.
Right off the
Joy would
bat.
like a cookie.
Yep.
So, Joy, I'm happy to give you a cookie, but you got to be here for the cookie. And then she says he's cute.
And you know who she's talking about.
Well, I don't know who she's talking about.
You know who
It's
she's
got
talking
to be.
about.
Maybe,
It's gotta
maybe
be-
the
it's gotta
haircut.
be
Maybe
nude.
it was
It's
me.
totally Chris.
Maybe it's you. It says
Yeah,
he.
I mean, I did get my hair cut really short.
So
She doesn't want to assume.
So-
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So we will assume. I'm just going to assume she means you, Chris. I don't know, but
Without question.
because there's no way she means Chauncey. There's just no way.
All
Because
right,
she
so
did
we're
say
definitely going to need a
sexy.
verification on.
Yeah, Joy, we need some clarification on who the he is.
who the he is. That's right.
Who the he is.
She means
Who
Jesus.
is?
Jesus is
It's
cute.
gotta be- Jesus is cute.
Listen, Jesus is cute.
I can't compete with Jesus.
No. I'm going to go right in here.
Tall, dark,
get that.
and handsome.
And
That would be me.
what would be you?
Right.
You don't know.
Shannon.
So this is what we're doing today. There's
have a
literally
question for
no
Shannon.
order to this. You what?
Yeah, we're going to get crazy.
Okay.
Where's my boy
Okay.
at?
Weston?
No,
Peanut butter.
He's
not Weston.
Weston Richard Wise.
West, y'all.
Is he's at my parents' house right now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's chilling, probably on his tablet.
You know who we were talking about on Monday when we were doing prayer? Your dad, your stepdad,
Oh yeah,
Tim.
Yeah.
How's Tim doing?
he's doing better than expected.
Well, of course,
So-
because they gave him this amount of time, and it's already been this amount of time.
Yes, that is correct, and that amount of time has now turned into the current prognosis. I think is like 2 years.
Wow.
Which is more than I think we started it like a couple of months.
Yeah.
So 2 years is
Praise the Lord.
yeah.
And,
pretty
and
exciting.
then we'll keep praying and extend it even further.
That's
after
right.
that.
That's right.
First of all, Pastor Ryan Barker's on, and he wants to know if this is a hat-only episode.
Oh, we are all wearing
nice.
hats.
Okay, so there's that.
Hats Club.
But this right here, this is just stupid. This is stupid good. I'm just saying. Just saying.
It's easy. I can make you some more.
You can by all means make me s'more.
I would like s'mores.
He's like, please do not
No.
do that.
No, he is not like
Please
that.
do not.
Additionally, in the studio producing today, we have the lovely, the talented, the one, the only, the legend, short Sandy Story. Of course, we can't see you.
we can't see. I mean, if we brought up the other camera and then
We're
made
trying to
something
get there.
dangling. There it is.
There it is.
Hold on while we all turn.
It's all just turn. Of course, you guys have to turn. I just gotta look up. Also, behind the screen, behind the mask, the lovely, but it just stands for everybody. The lovely, the talented, the gifted, the special, the unique.
You just obviously surround yourself with really great people.
Hey, the pregnant. How about that?
There you go.
Right?
I'm just
Lindsay
fat.
Kimmelstein.
The giver of life.
The giver. Well, there is that. So thank you guys for doing that.
Do you know how awesome the Kimmels are? You want me to tell you how awesome
I
they are?
think I know,
These
but
ones
by
go
all
to
means.
11.
So they actually, essentially fostered my dog for me for the last 2
wow,
months.
That's right.
Because we couldn't take her while we were staying at my in-laws. We had to stay at my in-laws for a couple of months. So I actually will be picking little Miss Winnie up tomorrow morning and heading off on my trip back. But they are...
3 little hearts in the process.
I'm so sorry about that part.
I'm gonna laugh if little Miss Winnie don't want to go. What if she got?
She was pretty
attached?
excited to see me the other day,
Was
though.
she?
Yeah, she
What kind of
was.
dog is little Miss Winnie?
She was. She's a
What-
good dog.
Weston is the coolest. Shannon's little boy is just the
Yes.
coolest.
He's so cute.
He tells everybody that you are his best friend.
Nice.
Well, why wouldn't he?
Because he's embarrassed by you. That's
No,
why he wouldn't.
that guy-
That's why I usually don't.
Every time I see him, every time he sees me, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm eating. he can't contain this smile.
No, and
This
he has
huge
dimples
smile.
that are like
Yes.
craters.
They're like pits.
And he runs up. I mean, he's just the coolest.
He is.
I'm sorry, I'm almost done here.
He did punch my mom in the face today, though.
Well, there's that. I mean, there's that.
I mean, it was accidental though, right?
No, no, it was not.
Nah, I could have told you that.
I mean, he's 3 years old, so things will happen. I did get.
How about a nice Hawaiian punch?
We went to the zoo though with my brother and his 2 kids, and watching the toddler conversations, because they're at that stage
Yeah.
now where they're actually having their
Coherence.
little kid conversations,
Right.
and they just like walk in this little line, and it's like I don't know what they're talking about. They're
That's
saying
adorable.
words, like real words, but and it seems to make sense to them.
To each other.
Yeah.
No one else is privy to the information. You need
So-
a translator.
So Joy has still not answered our question.
I noticed that.
She
She did.
did.
She
Yes, laugh
did.
out loud.
What?
No, she said.
And I don't know that
LOL
that's the
Shannon.
answer.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. I'm going backwards.
Oh.
So
Bro,
Joy
that-
says, I make no jokes about this size thing. Oh, look, Chancey.
What is it, Boobala?
Look who it is.
Who is it?
Look who's joined us this evening.
Oh my goodness.
Now, Shannon knows who I'm talking about.
I
of
do.
course, Shannon.
And I don't know if Chris is aware.
Chris is totally aware.
I know that the short story, and I know that the very pregnant Lindsay Kimmel also knows who I'm talking. I don't know why I said very, because
I don't know why.
it
either.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter at all.
You're pregnant or you're not.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But joining us on the live stream
On
from
your
her
life,
home.
From her home.
You know, if we were in South Florida, I would be saying joining us all the way from Boca. Not Boca, but Boca. Boca Raton. Because that is where Charlotte Pence Garriga would live if she was in the Palm Beach area.
Oh my goodness.
She'd be married to a guy who wears chinos, no socks, and loafers all the time.
With a deep tan.
Of course, it's a tan like Bain de Soleil. You know what I'm saying? It's a spray tan.
I'm looking forward to the day that I get to join her bunko group.
Nice.
I'm not there yet.
No, listen, I understand. Sweetie, I get it. I understand the desire that you would have there. I completely get it. But no, Charlotte's been out on the yacht all afternoon. All right, they went out in the intercoastal because she just doesn't like going straight into the Atlantic. It's just too crowded. There's too many people there.
Playing shuffleboard.
Yeah, there's just you can't get out, and there's not there's no Cabana Boys to put everything together. So she just went out on the intercoastal. So that's what Charlotte did, right? And there you have it.
What you can mimic is the voice. What you can't teach is the perfect mannerism
Yes.
that you are actually like. I feel like I'm talking. I mean,
You feel like you're talking to someone
I'm there.
from
I'm there
South
right now.
Florida.
My grandma lived in South Florida. I feel like I'm there right now.
That's what it is. I mean, you have to be there.
Yeah.
Because I don't know of any such an isolated, not isolated, but such a small area, and it's not small, I mean, it's a huge metropolis, but this area that is so culturally diverse, other than maybe New York City,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
But even then, I don't know, because in South Florida, there's such a huge difference between the Hispanic cultures. You know, like you have the huge Cuban population that is decidedly different from the Colombian or the Venezuelan,
Haitian.
or the Puerto Rican.
Puerto
So you have
Rico.
all of that in this one area.
area.
In addition to that, you have a huge Jewish population.
yep.
You have a large black congregation. You have but you have everything.
Everything.
And there's a growing Arabic community down
Didn't
there.
know
So, so you can't grow up there without, just
Picking up some stuff.
hearing these things.
Yeah.
Like when I was in, this is an interesting story.
Post office.
No, when I was in 7th grade, I went
before
to close.
Long time
I
ago.
went to Amelia Earhart Elementary. Right now, this is in a suburb of Miami called Hialeah.
Amelia was still alive at the time.
She was not.
Did you get lost?
Did I get lost?
Amelia Earhart.
Oh, I get it! I get it! Yeah.
Stop throwing joke
Well
grenades
done.
that take a while to explode.
Sorry.
You got to give him a second to catch
Okay.
up with
I'll
this
count
side
next
of the
time.
table before you get
That's
yours
exactly
in.
right. But what I was getting at, the story I want to tell you is that we were there. This is during the Mariel boat list. You remember that? Okay, you're talking about when Cuba,
All the boats were
Castro
coming across,
released
okay.
all of his prisons and
Oh,
said,
okay.
"Go."
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sure.
So in 7th grade, I was going to Hialeah Junior High. So this is right after Amelia Earhart Elementary, and it was on the same campus. So the elementary school and the junior high were right there, and I was in class with multiple kids who could not speak a word of English.
Right.
Not a word. And so you pick up on that culture, and the Cuban dialect is very different.
Very different.
It's not the same as the others. They say things very differently, and they flow with the language. It's much more, I don't know, different.
Yeah.
But when you get to the little old Jewish people, they're all the same.
They are.
They all sound like they're from New York. You know why?
They are.
Because
They
they're
are.
all they're from New York. Every one of them.
There are no young
There are
Jewish people in
Not on purpose. Not on purpose, anyways. And they all live in Boca. Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
Oh
So
my goodness.
there you have it.
Fresh off of Seinfeld. That's what it.
But there is not a very growing Indian population. I want to tell you that. I don't know.
A
That's
little
all I got.
further north.
Yes, that is further.
They're in
north.
Jacksonville.
I watched. This will interest no one, but I've been. We bought ESPN Plus. Okay, and ESPN
Lame.
Plus. I bought it because I love hockey, and you can get
Okay,
you can
yeah,
get live
it does
hockey.
have hockey.
So you can get that. It also has all the 30 for 30s.
That's true too.
I watched a 30 for 30 on this cricket player from India, which I didn't know anything about. Fascinating.
Yeah.
This guy's like the Tom Brady
Yeah,
of
he's
cricket.
Uh-huh.
And it was just an amazing thing to see how this, because India, if you don't know, is a very populated country.
Oh yeah.
And this guy's like the national hero. Like when this guy doesn't do well, the nation mourns.
Mourns. Okay.
I mean, it's like that. And it was
Casey at bat.
it was such a fascinating thing. I was totally. It made me want to say, you know what? I need to go see if there's a good cricket game for PlayStation.
No.
Did it
Definitely
really?
not.
Did it really do that?
It actually
that's where you're
did.
heading
If I'm honest, I mean, I like
He doesn't want
documentaries.
to actually do physical
no,
activity.
I don't want to go out and play cricket. No,
My thumbs are dynamos, bro.
I confess, I have had a PlayStation injury before.
Oh yeah.
I have. I had to stop from FIFA.
Doctor and everything.
No, from
He sprained a thumb.
Yeah, I did. I did.
the
I don't know if I
ice-
sprained a thumb, but from playing FIFA.
Is that a racing game? Is FIFA a racing?
FIFA?
You know,
Do you really not know?
Soccer.
Soccer?
It's
I'm
soccer.
sorry, football.
Football?
Football.
Football.
Yeah.
Or as we say it here, soccer. I'm fine with soccer.
I mean, me too.
You want to
If
hear
you're gonna
something?
say FIFA,
Okay,
you
you want
gotta
to hear
say
something really
football.
sad, and you can all make fun of me for this.
Oh, we plan to.
I actually have the Tour de France for PlayStation 4.
What?
I can't imagine what that's
Well, while you do
like.
that,
right?
I actually just joined a real soccer team.
Oh, well,
again.
that's
Dang.
great.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Well, I don't know much yet. This is the first time I will ever have played on a women's team, and it's like a women's over certain age team. I've reached that point
So you're
in my
gonna be
life.
lapping everybody out there.
Maybe, because the reason I didn't play with the women's teams here was that when I would go, like if they were still in the women's league earlier in the evening before the co-ed leagues, it was so slow that I
Yeah.
was like, I don't really want to
Yeah.
do that. But I
You didn't
am
wanna be-
slower now because I haven't really
be LeBron James amongst a bunch of.
exactly.
LeBron James.
I just. But
Sorry.
since having Weston,
Yeah.
I have not played,
Okay.
and
So you're a little rusty.
I'm a little rusty and probably a lot slower.
I haven't played since you had Weston either.
Really?
Really, I haven't.
he means
Shocking.
I looked at a soccer ball once.
That's right. Yeah. I think I might recognize. Isn't that the ball you hit over the net and back and forth? It's just,
stop.
no, but so we have a few more people. Caitlin Catlett. It says Caitlin Hanna, but it's Caitlin Catlett. She is on.
Yeah.
She says this will make no sense to any of you, and I will make no sense out of this for you. Says the original Barkov speaks. That's an inside joke between
Yeah.
us. So that's just going to have to be there.
Barclay.
And then Ryan Barker is really disappointed in you.
Oh, okay.
He's okay with just okay with that. He says, "Did he just say FIFA was racing?" And you got like a Chris like shaking my head. And Joy and Ryan are having a conversation. Joy's like, "Yeah, he did say that."
Yeah.
You know.
I did because, soccer.
Yeah, right. Because soccer. Right.
Right, so.
DJ Linhart, the Deej. He
The
says,
Deej.
"How?
Hi.
How's everybody doing?"
He is currently like right up there at like on the top of my list of favorite people.
Oh,
DJ?
Yeah, because he's helping with that guitar for Weston.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's funny is she says DJ is one of her favorite people, which makes perfect sense because DJ's a good guy, and we're
He
like,
is a
for
good
sure,
guy.
really,
We're like,
DJ?
Well, it's just because
Like, if you'd have said, pretty much anybody else, okay, but DJ, right?
I'm a shout out. DJ is great. I showed up at this guy's house once. I was like, hey man, you got a minute to talk? And it was probably like 5:30, 6 o'clock.
And he was like, "Who are you?"
Well, right, naturally, and you're always harping on, if somebody shows up and they need help.
Yeah.
What DJ did, he opened his. Not only did he open his door, but he sat me down, made me a plate of dinner, ate dinner with his family, and then we went out and talked in his shop for like 2 hours.
Nice.
So he really came through. He was good. He
Oh,
was good.
DJ is
DJ's good people.
as good as it gets. He really is a good.
So
dude.
everybody should love DJ.
Everybody.
Basically, is what we're saying.
Yeah, if you don't love DJ, I don't.
Yeah,
Pastor Ryan.
even Charlotte is very
Especially
fond.
Charlotte.
She's very fond of DJ. DJ is the kind of guy when Charlotte needs something from the top shelf, she calls him, and DJ comes over and he says, "Charlotte, let me get that for you."
Actually, what DJ does, he goes and gets Brett because Brett can reach it. DJ can.
But DJ could open the pickle jar.
Yeah, he could.
He could.
He
In
could,
fact,
he
I'm
could
sure
rip
he
it right
could.
off the.
Yeah, I was gonna
He doesn't have to twist it. He just pops it.
Just looks at it.
Him and Mike Keller.
I was just going to say, that sounds like a Mike Keller thing to me.
Oh, okay, and now he's lost all of it. DJ, when you say shucks, that's over. It's all over. DJ's the worst human that's ever lived now.
Okay, Flanders.
I mean, what is shucks? Come on, what is that? I mean, what is
Okey-dokey.
right?
He missed the aw. Is it better if he goes, aw, shucks?
No, it's
Okay.
not better. Guys
What are you
don't say
talking about?
shucks. Who says that?
I
She
say it
said,
all the
"Oh
time.
shucks, I love it." No, that's
I do it all the time.
If I could,
I'm
I'd put the shaking my head emoji on there.
You just have to
Facepalm.
type it.
So I talked with Carla and Ryan today, and they will be pulling in, God willing, tomorrow night.
Oh wow!
Wow,
Yeah,
that's making some good time.
4 days
Wow.
to drive
How
from.
many stops? Are they just switching back and forth?
They're alternating driving. I think they drove the first night. They just stayed in Orlando, so that was just to kind of get them on the road. Then they went from Orlando to, I want to say Nashville,
Okay.
and then from Nashville to Lincoln, Nebraska,
Wow.
and then today from Lincoln, Nebraska to somewhere in Wyoming.
Wyoming. Okay.
So I plan to drive until
Pretty much the
Cheyenne tomorrow.
Ooh.
It's a long drive.
You
That's a
have fun
long
with
drive.
that.
I do have my
Is
friend.
it 2
Solo?
days to Indiana?
It's 2,400 miles.
Yeah.
So we won't get there till Friday. I did this drive. We took 2 cars, so there was no trading off
you
driving.
have to just
So it took
stop.
us 5 days and 4 nights. This time, I have a friend who, thank the Lord in heaven, everybody was praying that
Yeah,
she was
praise
going to be
God.
okay because she had a little bit of an accident, but she is going to be okay to go. Who's going to help me drive?
Good.
So we're going to stop at my sister's place in Cheyenne
Nice.
tomorrow night. Tomorrow early morning, more likely, is when we will get there. And then we're going to stop someplace called Kirksville, Missouri, I think. And then we'll...
I hear they will show you things there in Kirksville because it's in Missouri,
Show me.
which
state.
is the show me state. Never mind. Never mind.
He tried to make it work. Shannon
I
Shannon
did,
was just like, I'm
Bobby.
gonna just let that one go.
I went for it.
I'm gonna let that one go.
Ryan Barker says, Pastor Ryan Barker says, there's an awesome bison ranch in Wyoming.
Where? I like a good bison steak.
No, it says a bison ranch.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming that they feed you the bison if you go to
That's
the ranch.
literally what he said in his very next comment.
Oh, okay. Because
You can pet a bison while you eat bison ribs.
that seems wrong. Hey, you're next, buddy.
I mean,
It's like picking one out of the lobster
I was going to
tank.
say, you get lobster, like, ooh,
I don't get
ew.
lobster.
You don't like seafood or you don't like
Oh,
lobster?
you? How do you not know this? If it swims, I'm not eating it.
I think I've heard you say that
Yeah.
before.
Oh my gosh, no.
Oh,
that's no.
I'm going to have sushi this weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
I haven't had much sushi since leaving.
Yeah, I would imagine in the
probably
middle
don't
of the
want-
country,
No.
got that Indiana.
not a lot
Well,
of.
I have a question. Why does no one call them bison? Everybody calls them buffalo.
Because
They actually are
there's two different-
technically different. I think
Are-
there's
are-
something different about them.
Someone look that up for me because I'm not saying you're wrong, but I always thought because I know the
I'm gonna find
American
out right
bison
now.
is there used to be plentiful and they're not anymore. I know that.
Because they
It's in
swam
Cheyenne.
across.
Well, I don't know, but I was under that impression. Andrew Sheik is on. Andrew.
Andrew the Sheik.
Everybody just take a moment and say hi to Andrew. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
What up, dude?
It's good to see you.
I had like my first real conversation with Andrew on
look
Sunday.
at your camera.
I'm like, what are we?
Chris is like, what are we looking? Where's he at?
And found out that he was like Andrew, you lived in Indiana, right?
Give him 5 minutes to respond.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andrew says this. He goes, and then you get to. He goes, my thoughts are with Carla and Ryan. Nebraska is the worst. Hope they don't die of boredom on the drive. It's worse than Kansas. All right, go ahead.
Do you want to know the difference between bison and buffalo?
I do. Yes.
Okay. So according to nationalzoo.edu, so how do you tell the difference between buffalo and bison? Bison have large humps at their shoulders and bigger heads than buffalo. They also have beards as well as thick coats, which they shed in the spring and early summer. Another simple way to tell a buffalo from a bison is to look at the horns, but doesn't tell me what the difference between the horns are.
Well, I know this. Like, for example, in Italy, you can get buffalo is different, but they look like cows.
Well,
they're
so this
smaller.
is the pictures that I'm seeing is like what you would think of like a water buffalo, which I would think of that as very different.
Right. Okay. Lindsay's
But-
coming in. Lindsay's got it.
I think she's looking at the exact same thing.
Oh, okay. It's where they're from, mostly.
Okay.
how
All
about
right. Okay. Well, there you go.
So our bison
We all learned something today.
here and buffalo are
Asia,
There.
I think.
That would make sense to me that what we see here are bison.
There, read that one.
Old world true buffalo, as in Cape buffalo and water buffalo, are native to Africa and Asia. Bison are found in North America and Europe.
That's what I thought. So what we have here, generally speaking, are bison,
bison.
not buffalo.
That's why they say American bison.
the American bison. So there we go.
Now, for any of you out there who are getting ready for a test about buffalo
There's
versus
nobody out
bison,
there anymore.
you
They've
go.
all signed off. As soon as we started talking about buffalo and bison, they're like, I'm not watching this.
Actually, Pastor Ryan says buffalo are from Asia and Africa. So,
Well, that's almost right. That's kind of what that was saying.
yeah. So, before we get into the study, 'cause we're really
Joyce
close-
says, I'm glad we got that sorted out. That was important.
So before we start the study, we're really close to that 7:30 clock. I wanted to bring up something that happened this week on Sunday during your sermon.
During my sermon?
During your sermon.
Okay.
And I was very glad you did not stop to say something to me, because usually if I lose control, you have to stop and say something.
Yeah, I would
So-
have had I don't even remember this happening.
Okay. So you were talking about how it's not the same as it used to be, how people used to be very welcoming and opening of their homes.
Right.
back when you were
Oh, is this
younger.
the bunt cake?
This is the bunt cake.
Okay, go ahead.
So Pastor Todd says, now I'm sitting in
This
the
is a
very
true
front-
story.
Yes, this is a true story. I'm sitting in the very front row because the row that I usually sit in was fully occupied because the BIMs sat with the lockets. So I didn't have room. So when I came off the platform from worship, I didn't have room. So I just sat up front. So I'm sitting there, and my youngest daughter, Shaylin, decides to sit with me. So I'm sitting with Shaylin. Pastor Todd's preaching, and he mentions the bunt cake. Now, everyone in this room knows what a bunt cake is, but a bunt cake.
Hold on, make sure. Maybe not.
Anyone
I know what a bunt cake
know what a
is.
bunt cake is.
I'm pretty sure they had a whole episode on the Great British Bake Off about bunt cakes.
cakes.
But
Nice. So, but I mean, it's kind of an older thing. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't even.
I
think
have
it'd
bunt
be-
cake pans.
Yeah, but they're hard to find, are they not? Like you can't go. Usually, it used to be older time. You can go in the Safeway. They just be right there next
Yeah.
to all the other cake pans.
You
Bunt
got to
cake-
go to Home Goods these days.
Now you have to go to a bit of a more specialized. Anyway, say all this because you say my mom would always have a bunt cake ready for company,
Right.
and right behind me, Shanice goes, "What?"
No,
Now-
I did not hear that.
So no, she didn't say it loud enough for you to hear it, but I mean, it squeaked out of her because it was obviously she was
thought I said a butt
flabbergasted.
cake.
Exactly. But here's what made it so bad. I hear that.
At least I didn't say urinal
What?
cake.
And I start chuckling because just the outburst is funny. And then you know how your mind processes, what did my daughter think she heard? Oh no, she thought she heard butt cake.
Right, of course.
Which only made it funnier. And so now I've just lost control. So I was just glad you didn't see me. And,
No, I
and
didn't
now,
see it
of
at
course,
all.
my daughter, she's sitting right next to me, and if her dad starts giggling, so the two of us just had the giggles for 3 minutes.
But that's a true story. I mean, I'm not
Oh, no, I know it
making
is.
that up.
No.
If you didn't hear, what I said is that we just started a brand new series titled "Be Ready," and it's all out of 2 Timothy, and your devotion is going to be from that here in just a minute as well. But what I talked about was this idea how, in particular to Christians, we are not relational people,
Right.
and it irritates me, and it doesn't make sense to me because it is in our DNA.
Yes.
It is God gives us this. It is essentially the purpose of our being, right? Is to be relational,
Right.
in particular with God, to be
Amen.
relational with God. And so, but now with the culture, the way that things have just progressed in my lifetime, we don't see it.
Neighbors are not neighborly.
No, but like even look at your kids. They'd much rather
Sit
stay
in
at
the
home on
home.
their phones and ignore the world.
Yeah.
And no, I don't need to go make a friend
Or play FIFA on.
or play FIFA and hurt their thumbs. but even this, I mean, I really attribute a lot of this to the internet. Like I
for
remember
sure.
when America Online first became a big thing 20 plus years ago.
I was a chatter.
You had chat rooms and you could reach out. You could literally talk to anybody in the world.
That's how I met Joy.
Can you just stop chiming in
I'm
for a
helping
minute?
you.
You could talk to anybody in the world, and you never had to meet them. You never had to come out of your house. You could do whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
And it became easy, right? And we have become so inundated with that mindset that now being relational is nothing. It's not important to us. And then now when you take it even a step further with COVID and everything being a Zoom, whether it's
yeah.
in school or even why we started the live stream,
Right.
there was no personal interaction. So you're just reacting with people long distance. So the idea, I don't have to get to know Shannon. I don't have to get to know you or anybody because we can do this from afar.
Yeah.
And so it made me think how different things have been just in the past 20 years, 30 years. Because when I was growing up, so I guess almost, about 40 years ago, when I was growing up, what I said, my mom would always have some form of a dessert, maybe a cake, a bundt cake, a pie, something like that was always available in the house that we weren't allowed to eat. You could, and then you'd want to because it's just sitting there, and you're like, why do you do this? And it's like the idea was that people during that day 40 years ago would show up unannounced. Just to come visit with you.
Well,
And that was a normal thing.
You know why people don't want to do it that way anymore is because it's easier to cut people off and out of your life if you don't like something they do or say, if you don't have a real relationship with them, and you have to spend time with somebody to develop a real relationship. So if you can just keyboard your warrior your way out of it, that makes life, in theory, it makes life a whole lot easier. It doesn't really.
No.
But it's true though.
Because
You're
we're
right.
designed to be relational, but in the thought process is that it makes it easier.
And that's true, but it goes deeper than that because it's not just the bundt cake is just one example.
Right.
Caitlin thought you were saying butt kick, by the way.
I saw. It's Caitlin.
I have an add on to that story.
I was gonna say. Yeah.
Well, go ahead, add on, and then I'll move on.
So my wife Nisa goes to work, tells her other daughter the whole story, and they're giggling at work. And the other daughter reminds her of a time when she was younger, sitting in the same sanctuary in pews. Oh my goodness! And Pastor Scott says, "We are all but dust, and to dust we will return." You already know where I'm going with this. So she's sitting there as a teenager with her two teenage friends, and you know how sometimes your mind just drifts and you just catch a little bit.
Yes.
Butt dust. We're butt dust.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we had to answer that question after. Like, what was wrong with you guys? You were just over there just losing it. He said butt dust. Oh my goodness.
What did you say? Did you have something you wanted to add
No,
on to
I
that?
was just
too?
saying that it's funny that you mentioned that. When I first moved out of my folks' house, my grandma gave me a book, and in that book was basically the how to have polite company, how to keep your house polite.
Oh, wow.
Preparing for that 1940s,
Company.
1950s style
Yeah.
of entertaining, and one of them was always keep some sort of a baking good on your counter, covered and ready. Not for you, but for guests to show up. Also was tea. Make sure you have tea.
Yeah,
ready to
tea
go.
and coffee and
yep.
things like that. Well, you said something, and I think what you said is interesting.
40s.
How old are you?
35.
You're 35, and he said he equates that to the 40s and 50s. I'm talking about the late 70s.
Yeah.
The late 70s, early 80s.
Shannon can relate to this. You're talking about how you can remember when chat sites came out and you could talk on them. I remember being a kid and those coming out. I was a little bit too young to be using them.
Right.
But just in
ouch.
our lifetime, it was well, I shouldn't have. I was on them, but I shouldn't have been. Like, just, in our lifetime, it hasn't been like, I would say there was like this cusp where it went from just kind of like a normal living, telephones where, that was how you communicated. And then all of a sudden it just like
switched over.
In our lifetime, it's been like a rocket ship.
So the
Just
first time
launching
I ever
forward.
like researched or wrote a paper or anything attached to a computer at all, I think was my senior year in high school.
Wow.
And when I started out in computer lab, it was like the DOS
Yep.
type stuff, and you
No
had Oregon
colors.
Trail,
Yep.
but like
People
the
don't know
original
anything,
version
Sandy.
of Oregon
These
Trail.
young people have not lived through anything.
And I remember my sister getting into some chat rooms like my freshman year in high school or something. I was like, what are you
gosh.
doing?
They're
You're
making
talking to
me
these
feel
people
so
you don't
old.
know. But so there's this book, and I keep meaning to read it, and I haven't read it yet, and I'm going to, but I've heard really great things about it. It's called The Turquoise Table. Finding, now I gotta like actually pull the whole thing up. The Turquoise Table, Finding Community and Connection in Your Own Front Yard by Kristen Schell. And I heard her on a podcast that I was
have
listening to.
you read this book?
Not yet. I'm going to, though.
Okay.
But I heard her speaking and talking about the book, and the principle is kind of like what we're talking about. So essentially what she did was she got this, I think it's like a picnic table, and painted it and stuck it in her front yard. And the whole idea behind it was anybody walking by can sit down and hang out and have a conversation.
So that's
Nice.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
But if you did that today, nobody would do it.
Actually,
People are doing it.
Yeah.
I love
yeah.
that. Well, you read it and tell me how it is.
I will. Maybe I'll listen to it in the car on my way
That's
to
perfect.
Indiana.
That's actually good.
The other example I gave you, I grew up in a house with 3 older sisters. When the phone would
when the
ring,
phone rang,
there was
yeah.
one phone. It was in the kitchen, hanging up on the wall, right?
And a really long
oh my
cord.
gosh, yes. And it would wrap around itself and get all kinked
Because
up
they
and everything,
yanked
and
it
it
so
was just
far
horrible.
away,
Yes.
yeah.
And I mean, that phone would ring. And as a little kid, I remember I had to get out of the kitchen or I was going to get run over. And it's like, and then I remember, like, gosh, I don't know how long ago. Do you remember caller ID?
Yeah.
Was something, it was a little box like
Yes.
this that you had to buy.
Yeah. It's
And,
about the size
and pay
of a
for
small
a
cell
service
phone.
that you'd
Yeah.
put on your phone, or you put there by your phone, and then when people would call you, you'd see who it was. And then within a few years, they had the mobile phones,
Yeah.
not a cell phone,
Cordless phone.
but a cordless phone, and it would
Mobile.
have a digital printout on it, right? And then it would tell you who it is,
would
and
tell you.
and then they had the thing you could star six
That's a
Star 69.
Star
69
Call
where
them
you
back.
could call somebody back if they didn't leave you a message and stuff like that. And it was like, that really created those kind of of technology creations really hindered.
Separated.
Now, here's a scary thought. If you've ever read, and I have, the Unabomber's manifesto,
Oh, wow.
he outlines all of this stuff. The whole point of his manifesto is to basically say that technology is destroying mankind. And the best example that he gives is a red light. You're at a 4-way stop in the middle of the night, 2 in the morning. You're the only car on the road. It's a red light, and you stop. Why?
Well, to me,
No, I'm not, I don't. That's not. There's not an
completely
answer.
answered. Okay.
The point
Totally
is,
an answer.
we are programmed by technology and timing devices to just do. To just be obedient. That light is red. It's 2 in the morning. There's no one there. We're not going to hurt anybody by going through. Yes, there might be the fear of getting a ticket or breaking the law or what have you, right? But we are programmed through technology to just obey, and it's true.
Yeah.
So
And
the 4-way stop in the middle of Malala, do you stop?
Yes.
The one that's
Yes.
that going
Even though
through-
it's-
no, but
Even-
that's but this
Yeah.
is a
even though
perfect
you can't
example. I
turn
got
and there's
into a
no-
debate
Yeah.
with
Someone
friends
else.
of mine about that exact. I stopped because the stop sign's still there. But
I-
the point is, why? Nobody's going this
that's
way.
exactly right. Why we are programmed. But that's my point. But the crosswalk, if no one's in the crosswalk, you can see that. Now, I'm not dismissing law. That's not what I'm saying. The point I'm making is that
No, I
these
understand.
technological advances absolutely are hindering the relationship ability
Yeah.
of mankind.
That was just an example, but yeah. we
Yeah,
see what
and
you're saying.
if you've never read the manifesto, I'm not encouraging you or discouraging you to read it. I can tell you that here's an interesting story. The guy who principally caught the Manhunter, caught the Unabomber,
Unabomber.
now currently lives that kind of a lifestyle. He absolutely, he's isolated. He lives out in the woods. He hunts for his own food. He avoids technology at all costs. He left the FBI, and he was a linguistics expert.
Oh, wow.
That's how they
So
caught
that's how
him
they
through the
caught him
manifesto,
through the-
was by language that he used.
Oh, wow.
They figured out by his language where he went to school, where he was from, all of these things. There's a wonderful documentary
is
on
nuts.
Netflix called Manhunter. Unabomber.
Manhunter. It's
Manhunter, Unabomber. Look, I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's exceptional. What is that? Is there a
somebody's
bell?
beeping.
Oh, well. All right, so we do have a devotion to get to.
I just need this. Where's it at?
Andrew Sheik, born in Indiana.
No,
Born in Indiana. Oh, never mind.
it is Andrew Sheik, but there it is right there. I need you
Okay.
to just read that.
Born in Indiana. This is Andrews. He was born in Indiana. He lived there for the first few years of his life until they moved to Sacramento. His lovely wife, Sedona, office administrator. Water buffalo just makes me think of VeggieTales. Everybody want a water buffalo? Yours
all I
is
needed.
something. Mine is slow. I got DJ. Oh, give me a home where the bison roam. I
Which
don't think
explains
so.
the whole reason we call them buffalo here.
Yeah, but they're not. They're bison.
I
we
know,
need
but
to
it's all
start-
about that song.
And we need to start calling them bison.
I refuse.
Don Cooper says chat rooms. There's a flashback. It really is.
Bison.
Internet, it'll never catch on. Sedona, I've read it. Okay, Sedona's read that book. She says it's quite good.
I
So-
just downloaded it to listen to in the car.
Hey, Donna, if you have that, bring it into to work tomorrow. I would love to read it. I want to read The Gospel Has a Key, which is a similar concept of hospitality from a Christian perspective. Good. Antiques Roadshow with Monez. Talking about that. All right, so we are going to get into your devotion. Let's get a little bit of a precursor for what's going to happen. I've got it figured out. Just so you know, we're going to be in this Be Ready series for 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
God willing, maybe longer. But there's 6 sermons. But if I get carried away with one and it becomes 2, you never know.
Happens all the time.
But we're going to be in 2 Timothy 4. If you haven't shared this video, please go ahead and take a minute to do that. I would appreciate that. It's a great opportunity for you to share the gospel with someone who might not otherwise hear something. And this devotion is primarily for Christians, but that's okay. In 2 Timothy chapter 4, verses 1 through 2, we're going to say this: says, "In the presence of God and of Christ Jesus, who will judge the living and the dead, and in view of his appearing and his kingdom, I give you this charge: preach the word. Be prepared in season and out of season. Correct, rebuke, and encourage with great patience and careful instruction." Now, last Sunday, a few days ago, we really focused on verse 1, which talks about being in the presence of God. What is that like? How do you know that? How do you recognize that?
Word.
When are you not in the presence of God? And the reality is you're always in the presence of God. And then we talked about that God, because it says and it was an expository teaching, who will judge the living and the dead, that God is the one who judges everybody. And then Paul is writing this to Timothy. He says, "I give you this charge, so pay attention, preach the word, be prepared in season and out of season." So we talked a little bit about being prepared in season and out of season last week, but we're going to talk exclusively about that this coming week. We're going to add the preach the word part to it. But I want to point something out to you that we're going to have a little bit of a grammar lesson here today. Is in verse 2, it says, "Preach the word, semicolon. Be prepared in season and out of season," right? Okay. A semicolon is a punctuation mark. It indicates a pause between 2 main clauses, and it is a more pronounced pause than indicated by a comma. But what I want to get out of this is that the semicolon is significant because he says 2 main causes that he's giving us. It's not one. It's not, hey, I give you this charge, right? Mm-hmm. I give you this charge, so it's like, pay attention. God is around. God is watching, right? And he is the one who judges everybody. That's verse 1. So I'm giving you this charge because of those reasons. Preach the word, semicolon, not comma. Be prepared in season and out of season. So the idea of sharing the gospel. Now, Shannon's a local minister's license, has a local minister's license. So she is pursuing credentialing to be a minister. Whether there's a call to preach or not, that's between her and God. Mm-hmm. I felt that call. Right, so I became credentialed just for the process to preach, and so that's what I do. Right, that's kind of who I am. But we are all called. The word for preach, it actually means more to teach or to speak forth, to prophesy,
Give the truth.
to speak forth a truth. We're all called to that. So the preach notion of the word that we have in English is kind of different than what is actually being said here. What he's talking about, and he is speaking to Timothy, who is pastoral, and he's saying, you need to be ready to preach the word, that you cannot do one without the other. That's the point of the semicolon. It is 2 main clauses. separated by the semicolon. So whether he says preach the word first or be in season and out of season first really doesn't matter. He's trying to say these both have equal importance. So it could say, I give you this charge, be in season and out of season, semicolon, preach the word. Because you cannot do one without the other.
Right.
I'll share this. I don't like to share this a lot, but I'm going to share this. When God put it on my heart to leave worship ministries and go into preaching ministries, I was at a district assembly, and we were sitting in the pastoral reports. And so all of the people in your region, all the pastors in your region get together, and they tell you the good things that are happening in their church, right? That's what they do. And you each get about 2 minutes to just basically say, oh, we had, a lot of people give their lives. We started this teen program, whatever it is that you did that's good, right? And I'm sitting in this room with Pastor Steve at the time. We were in Bend, Oregon, where District Assembly was. And I'm sitting in this room. We were in there for about 2 hours listening to these pastors tell us all of these great things that are happening in the church. And I looked over to Pastor Steve after about an hour and a half, after about 15 guys had gone, I don't know. And I said, I wouldn't go to any of these churches. I would not do it.
Wow.
I would have zero interest. I mean,
could you expand on that?
I'm going to expand on it. And you're going to think I'm being critical, but I'm not being critical because it is what God used to get me to where I am now.
Okay.
I was like, this person, whom I don't know, is about as engaging as a Tic Tac. I mean, that's where I was with that.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Now, you might think I'm being critical, but that's exactly where I was.
I think the same way when I go
it's
different
just like
places.
And I'm thinking all of these guys, every one of them have probably been credentialed, ordained, what have you. They're their own pastors at their own churches. And out here in the West Coast, the Nazarene Church is a much larger denomination than in the Midwest, and then in the East Coast, it's very small. So here we are in the prominence of our denomination, and I'm thinking, this is the best we have? I mean, that was the thought that I had. Yeah. Pastor Steve looked at me and he said, do something about it.
Praise God.
And so I kind of amped my schooling up, got credentialed, was ordained, and literally the Sunday after I was ordained on a Friday, installed here as the pastor on that Sunday.
Yep.
And I haven't looked back from the standpoint of not doing worship ministry, but going into preaching ministries. And I'm sure that there are people who listen to me and say, this guy's about as engaging as a nail file. I'm sure that that's the case. But when I'm thinking about everybody in that room was credentialed, that we were all ordained, and I'm like, this is a nightmare.
Yeah.
This is terrible,
no,
really bad. And so the idea that came to my mind that, and you guys, anybody who knows me knows that I am not an academic guy. I don't use a lot of my schooling in pastoring the church. I really don't. I don't diminish it. I don't want to speak poorly of it. I think it's an important part of what we do. I think we should be educated. I think it's necessary. But we have pastor after pastor after pastor after pastor who has got degrees after degree after degree. They are ordained. They are this, they are that, and they never grow their churches because the anointing of God is not on them.
Which only reminds me of the scripture that says, everyone has their spiritual gifts. Some is preaching, some is teaching. So you can have someone that's a great teacher. They can help you learn the word and teach you the word, but they might not be great standing up in front of a large group of people and helping them understand what God has for them or equipping them for the works of ministry. Some people are great for encouragement.
Absolutely.
And that's what that scripture takes me to. I didn't understand. I remember reading that and thinking, what?
Right.
Because we're supposed to be good at all these things. But I've also seen through other pastors, yourself, PS, PT, the other one, just all the pastors that I know, I've seen them be great at more things. And I've seen someone like Pastor Matt I think he's a great preacher, but he's a better teacher. He's that person. He's a great discipler. He's that person where under his preaching it's like, oh, I get it. But when he's teaching me something, and that's that one-on-one, he exudes it, and you ingest it. And I've seen someone who's just They were a preacher, but they were a great encourager. They fed
what
people
you're talking about is there can be guys who are great preachers, great teachers who are not good pastors.
Right.
I mean, there's a whole thing, but I want to tie what I was saying into
please.
the
I'm
devotion
sorry.
because what I want to get at is it says preach the word, semicolon, be prepared in season and out of season. And in the context, Paul is giving this to Timothy, who is the pastor at the church in Ephesus. And it started as a good church, and then it really started to go downhill when Nero became the emperor. And Nero is there's persecution going on. It's a hard time for the church, right? These people are being persecuted in his church. These things are happening. And so Paul's exhortation to him that says it's both and.
Yes.
It's yes, preach the word, but that isn't enough. You have to be prepared in season and out of season because right now you guys are going through it, and if you're not, you will be going through it. And so maybe when I'm sitting there in the district assembly and I'm thinking, this is horrible, right? This is not good. There's nothing engaging about this. I would not go to any of these churches. And it's not an indictment on the man or the process. It's not an indictment on any of that. It's just like, this doesn't work for me, right? And I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, what are non-Christians thinking? And so the importance then became, not in that moment, but as I look back and preparing for this series that we're in, the importance of being prepared in season and out of season becomes paramount. It becomes everything. Because I don't care how good of a preacher you are, if nobody's listening to you, so what?
Yeah.
Why do I get frustrated when we don't have a good turnout on the live stream?
Because we should, because this is good food.
Well, that's the point. But we get frustrated by those things. And it's like, is it because we're not engaging? I don't know. Is it because of the season that we're in? I don't know. Is Nero the emperor? Is COVID causing? I mean, I don't know.
But does it really matter if it made a difference for one person?
No, it doesn't. But that's not the point. There's nothing to do with what I'm saying. What I'm talking about is if it's on us to be prepared in season and out of season, whether it's one person or 50 people, it doesn't matter. So I agree with you. I'm not diminishing your point. So does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. We still do it. That's why we're doing it.
Right.
That's why we do it. But it does matter when we are focusing as a culture, not as a denomination, but as a culture on, well, this person has to be ordained. This person I will not entertain anybody unless they have a master's degree. No one's going to get this interview unless they have so many years of experience in this size of a church, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you could get the most degreed, credentialed person ever and interview him for your church, and you like his credentials, and you like his or her resume, and it looks great. If that person doesn't have the anointing, so what?
They're basically on the pulpit.
We have this very blindered view of what we see as how things should be, but our nature is a sin nature. So what I see, what I internally see versus what God gives me as what his vision for what should be coming out of me are two very, very different things. And you have to recognize the difference between the two, because if you don't, then you're going to be stuck in that sin nature and you're going to be doing things by your own will and your own power and not God's power. And God to dwell within you and make you something far better than you could ever imagine yourself to be. So when I think about something like this in this passage, it's for me, it's about like, well, okay, if I am to before I answered the call, before I came to you and talked to you, and I told you when we first had that conversation that I had all these ideas about how if I were going to answer this call that I'd felt on my life for so long, that I had an idea of what that should look like.
Right.
But it wasn't God's idea of what that should look like, and I was arguing and battling with him over that for years. His version of what that looked like was so far and above what I could have ever imagined. And then I have the opportunity to bring that idea, that thought process to other people, or at least I hope that's.
No, I do. I would add to all of the conversation that this is a unique time in the church. This is an unprecedented time because of COVID. We look out there now. The church that we have right now, I don't know how many people were in the sanctuary on Sunday. I have no idea. The number of people that are different than the people that were there before COVID is got to be well over 50%.
50%, yeah.
It's got to be. And the number of people that we have this coming Sunday, there might be 20 different people that don't even fit that mix. You never know. And so when you think about even the context of going into a series, does that even make sense?
Right.
Does it make sense to go into a 6-week-long sermon series? Because you have, who knows who's going to be here next week? Who knows who's going to be here in 6 weeks? Who knows?
Right.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense to me. Because the message that you're delivering on any given day could be the message that needs to be heard by whoever shows up.
I've come in the middle of a sermon series.
still
Well,
got
I
a
did.
lot.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, I got one. Did I? No, I got 1 week of it, right?
Right.
And I got something out of it. And in the past, that's been the case too. When I've maybe somewhere else, maybe here, but I come in and I'm in the middle or at the tail end of a sermon series, but that happened to be what I needed to hear that day that God had for me that day.
Sure. And I get that, yes.
Two things. One, Larry Linder just texted me and said, God calls, God equips the called. He doesn't call the equipped, which is going to your point, was talking about the anointing. You can have all the credentials, but you can stand up there and sound like Ben Stein, Bueller.
Well, but in tying that, yes, correct. But I feel like I'm not conveying what I'm trying to convey in this. And maybe I am. So maybe I'm beating a dead horse. So stop me if I am. What I'm getting at is, of the 20 guys I listened to, the question I would ask is, okay, these guys can preach the word. Are they prepared in season and out of season? Because if you can't engage me
Right.
in a forum,
Yeah.
Right.
that's so easy to engage. You're literally given 2 minutes to tell me all the great stuff going on in your church. I want to hear about that.
Yeah.
I'm in that with you.
Yeah.
I like that. You know what I mean? I actually like pastoral reports. I do, because you get ideas.
And you get excited because you see other churches growing.
And I'm sitting there falling asleep looking to my senior pastor saying, this is the best we have?
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is mortifying. And so that's what I'm talking about, is that semicolon and 2 main clauses.
Yeah.
Preach the word. 1, be prepared in season and out of season. And I'm thinking, not be prepared to come into a district assembly and share for 2 minutes. That's easy. You could do that. Anybody could do that.
That's disrespectful. But go ahead.
No, what I mean is,
I'm just joking. Just go
but
ahead.
anybody could do that. I could say, Chris, as a layperson,
Yeah.
you can go out there and tell the good things that you've seen in this church. You got 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You could do that.
I could stretch it for 2 minutes.
You wouldn't have to be prepared for that.
No.
But I'm talking about something different. I'm talking about this notion of, if we want our churches to grow, be prepared in season and out of season.
Right.
And it's what I tied in, what you walked in on is a theme that has been going through my preaching for the past 6 months. Get out there, church, get out there and make a friend. Be friendly to people.
Be relational.
Stop just hanging out with your core group of people. Stop doing that.
Oh, that's easy.
Like Sandy's in there joking to Lindsay. She puts her hand and she's, will you be my friend? And it's sweet. And I get it. And I'm not mad. I'm just saying, go find somebody that you don't know and make a friend.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to say something even crazier. Go find somebody that you do know, that you haven't talked to.
Sure.
And like, there's so many people in our lives that we could just reach out to and be like, I haven't talked to this person in 5 years, because that's what we do now, right?
Let me challenge. Watch this. Here's a challenge. Everybody who's listening to me, go through your cell phone. I bet you can't get through J without finding 2 or 3, the letter J for last name, 2 or 3 people that you haven't spoken to in years.
Super easy. I can do it right
These
now.
are people on your contact list.
So at what point then did I or you or anybody out there decide that person wasn't worth sharing Jesus with?
Great question.
That is awesome.
Perfect question. Great question.
I just want to jump on my second point really fast.
You do it.
So the second thing I wanted to say was, you were talking about 6-week series. I recall that you saved a marriage.
I didn't, but God did. But
God saved the marriage. Yeah, you're right. God saved the marriage on a sermon where you were preaching about something completely different. Not only that, God also called people to do to tithe in a sermon where you were talking about something completely
had nothing
different.
to do with tithing.
So, just like Shannon was saying, it doesn't matter. God's word is eternal and alive.
Well,
And
you don't have to, what I call Bible thump jump people. Like,
Bible thump jump.
yep, that's
that sounds like a new kid
I'm
game
gonna
we're playing
keep
at
that
Jacksonville
one.
this week.
I've actually been using that for years. You don't have to do that.
Like a
You
Sesame
can
Street
show
song.
people by the way that you treat them and by the way that you live your life. It should be obvious.
Amen.
Yes, it should. Saint
And they'll ask you. I have car dealers ask me.
Saint Francis of Assisi is the guy who is accredited the line, preach the gospel at all times, and when necessary, use words. I don't know that he said it, so I don't like to always credit him, but that's the research.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like the concept of praying unceasingly, right? You just live God unceasingly
time.
to the point that people can't help but notice that there's something different about you.
This guy's
And
crazy. He always talking to himself. That's what
Yeah,
I noticed about me.
yeah.
D.L. Moody was asked how many times he prays in a day. He says, I can't answer that question. Prayer is not something I do. It is who I am.
Good stuff.
I mean, the point, hold on, somebody's on there.
Somebody.
Somebody.
If PT were Richard Simmons leading a theological exercise group, the Bible thump jump. Come on, everybody!
Who said that? I can't see.
Caitlin Catlett.
Nice, Caitlin.
That's all I got. That's the devotion. That's a little precursor for what you're going to
all
get
I
today.
got. That's pretty good for all you got.
Well, God does that. That's kind of how it is.
Praise God.
And, I had a good quote I wanted to share. I'll give you now.
Oh, I know where I kind of got like caught up in the words that were coming out of my mouth a few minutes ago there. But what I was trying to say is don't be the best version of you, which is where that scripture had kind of taken me, because the best version of you is not nearly good enough.
No, it's filthy rags.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best version of you is
It's full of sin and all sorts of
The best version of
ugly
you
things.
is Ryan Barker, and that's not good. Sorry.
Be God's best version of you.
There you go. That's perfect. So yeah,
Yeah.
there you
I
have
like
it.
that. Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
Good stuff.
When I
it's
got-
8:00 already.
Yeah,
it
I
is?
know.
It's been a fast hour.
No
It's because
doubt.
that pastor won't shut up.
I mean,
Is that the best we have?
even with
It's
all
because it was
even
so-
with all that candy in your mouth.
It was just so great to have me here that it just
That's
like,
what it
flew
was.
by.
That's what it was.
Nice.
Do you guys want to do a handful of trivia questions or no?
We can do that.
I'll probably mostly sit back and watch because I don't have my ringer.
You got some trivia you can
Your
read to us?
ringer.
My ringer.
I know what you meant. I just love the way what you called it. I like that Bible trivia. That stuff was easy.
But I
I
hate
know.
easy trivia.
I love it. Makes me look smart.
Bill's supposed to be watching, but I don't
don't
think
make
he
you
has the
look smart.
YouTube app, so he probably can't chime in at all.
Nah.
Oh, wait, what?
Wait, what?
If
What?
you have the YouTube app, you can't chime in?
No, unless you have the YouTube app, you can't.
Oh, unless you have it.
yeah,
I
and
thought you said
he doesn't.
Oh.
He doesn't app much.
2 weeks ago, I preached one of my favorite sermons. I preached it a number of times, the paradigm shift. The, what?
What?
If your right eye causes you to sin, gouge,
Gouge
it out. What?
You know, it's this is a stupid story, but I'm going to share it anyway. So at work the other day, someone said something, and pretty much anytime anybody says anything at work that reminds me of the Bible, I'm going to give them the verse. And we swerved way off we were still talking about the Bible, but one of the guys was like, does it just seem to anyone else that some of the time God was just messing with people like Abraham? Like
Go to a place I'm going to show you. Watch.
Yes,
Gabriel, Peter, come on, check it out, check it out.
that's exactly what they were saying.
Noah.
Noah, watch this, guys. Come here.
Like it's in
Noah,
Like it's in Practical
I
Jokers.
want you to build an ark.
What's an ark?
Come on.
It's like, hey,
Really?
Abraham.
Hey,
You know that son you've been waiting for
hey,
all
what
this
if you're
time?
the whale that swallows Jonah?
Oh,
Hey, Will,
you want me to do
go
what?
swallow that guy. Oh my goodness!
Lindsay, you have to read them out loud.
You got that
You guys
microphone?
are just having too much fun.
Can you put the mic closer to your masked face, please?
Any better?
Yes, it's
Yes.
better. All right, let's go through. We'll just do a few
Mucho
cards.
better.
We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, I don't think. But we'll give it a shot. We'll see. If I start doing well, maybe we'll keep going.
That's an LL PT. Okay, I'll go easy on it.
Well, Chris does well with
Depends
with
on
trivia.
on the topic.
Where's the gum department store?
The gum department store. Is this Trivial Pursuit?
California,
Where's the gum department store?
California,
Gum. Where's the gum department store?
New York.
Keep going.
I don't.
Philadelphia.
I'm gonna go with
Paris.
Starts with an M.
An M?
Miami.
Manhattan.
Maine.
Gosh, we don't care. You tell me.
Moscow.
Moscow. The gum department store?
Of course, the Russians
In
that have gum
Moscow, you
department.
don't chew gum. Gum
In
chews
Mother Russia.
you.
Gum to you. If come to Mother Russia, we will give you gum. Bazooga. До свидания. You chew gum, you live.
Oh, they handed out bubble gum.
You
for
chew gum.
Halloween.
Soviet Socialist Republic will not kill.
What were the 5 opening words on Ben Casey?
Ben Casey.
I have no idea.
Who's Ben Casey?
No
I
idea.
don't think that's what it is. That's 3 words.
Who's? Yeah.
Please say who's Ben Casey. We don't know.
Sandy says TV show. So man, woman, birth, death, infinity.
Wow. So there's that.
Infinity Stones.
Go to a different card.
Yeah, let's go to a different card. Hi. How you doing?
What was Science Digest called the most healthful U.S. state to live in?
Who said
said?
it? Health Digest?
Science Digest.
Oh, said the healthiest.
The healthiest state to live in.
Most healthful.
Healthful.
Healthful. Does that mean full of health?
I'm guessing. It's kind of an odd one.
Wyoming.
I would think a very lowly populated state.
That's why I went with Wyoming.
Washington.
Vermont.
It could be. I'm
gonna
going to go with Maine.
Hawaii.
Well, of
Hawaii.
course. The pineapples.
Hawaii.
Watch
all
out for the pineapple!
It's all those.
No, it's a relaxing place. Da-da-da.
Yeah, it's
Watch
it's
out for
the
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 pineapples.
fish. All those
Pez.
those vitamins in the
Pez.
fish.
It's all the vitamins. There's a lot of vitamins.
All right, okay.
It's the volcanic ash. Breathing in the
All right, next
volcanic
question.
ash. Opens your lungs.
This is just dead air, Lindsay, just so you know. This is,
Just,
you can just read.
Find
Just
it interesting.
no. Just read them.
Read
Just read them. Just read them.
What resort peninsula curves 65 miles into its tip?
What
The
resort?
Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin
That's
Islands.
not a bad
What
guess.
resort
Jamaica.
peninsula?
Jamaica.
I don't know. The Florida Keys,
Cape Cod.
Cape Cod.
Is it-
Oh, Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, Providence, Rhode Island. Never mind. We're going to. Well, you know, they're in Massachusetts. Ask not. Never mind. What your trivia reading question producer can do for you?
Okay, this is just the first thing that my eye fell on. Who was the only female athlete at the 1976 Summer Olympics not given a sex test?
Sorry? Did you say
Huh?
what?
What?
what does that even
Sex-
mean?
1976 Olympics,
What's
not
this?
given
Given-
a sex test.
is that-
Female athlete.
Is that where
Like
they
a
reach
gender
down and
test?
say, like,
Nope, this is
if
girl.
you bounce,
Is that what that was?
if you don't bounce,
I don't know. Nadia
sex
Comaneci.
test.
that one.
Princess Anne.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
She's a princess. You
Yeah,
can't.
you can't.
You can't.
You can't sex test
Keep
a
going.
princess.
Can't do
Sorry,
that.
that was.
Just read question after question. You have to go through and
Gotta
find-
stay away from the
Just say one
princess.
How many
question.
zeros are there in a trillion?
12.
No.
There's 9 in a million. That would make it
7.
12 in a billion.
8.
7
She
or
said
8.
trillion.
15.
She's so.
12.
That's right the first time. I'm sorry. I was right the first
Yes,
time.
I did roll my eyes. Keep going.
Who was the title character in The Merchant of Venice?
DeMilo.
Dasputin.
No, I don't know.
Antonio.
That was closer.
That was close.
Tony.
Tony. How you doing?
Hey, Tony.
How you
How you
doing?
doing, eh?
Merchant
You know.
of Venice
Tell
is
your
a-
mother I
Hey.
said hello.
Yeah, hey, you know who dated
Shakespeare.
Tony? Charlotte. Way back in the day. It didn't go well though because he wasn't Jewish and he wouldn't convert. That's what happened. You know what I'm saying? There was no. You couldn't go to the bris. Mary Lou Retton in 76? When was she born? Give me a break. Carry on. All right, Lindsay, next question.
What Leave It to Beaver character became a Los
my God.
Angeles policeman in real life?
Wally. No, he's too old.
The beef.
No, not the
No.
beaver. The kid, Eddie Haskell.
Yes.
Chancey's on a roll.
That's 2 for Chauncey.
2 for
And
Chauncey.
Getting
None
it.
for
That's
anybody
Getting
else.
it.
Do it. Do it.
What is the man holding in the painting American Gothic?
A sickle.
yeah,
no,
the pitchfork.
No, pitchfork. You got it.
A 3-pronged pitchfork.
Yes.
3 prongs. 3.
A trident.
Neptune's trident. He stole it.
He was just incognito.
That's right. That's
Nicely
right.
done. Bring it up. The
Very nice.
Sundays.
That's right. Jesus walking everywhere incognito.
Goodness gracious. What do
Night,
you...
DJ.
No, you know what DJ's getting out? You know
She's
why?
like, no, not reading that.
We can only have one guitarist in the
DJ's
room.
getting out because he doesn't want to say it's boring, but that's what you're all reading into that
like,
anyway.
He's got to go work on that guitar.
Whatever, DJ. See, DJ,
What is
you're
the
not
first
cool.
day of Lent?
Saturday,
April something.
I don't know.
the 14th.
Charlotte would know.
Bill would know this one.
Charlotte,
That's-
because
Well, yeah,
she's a
that's
good
right, he's
little
Catholic.
Jewish
He's
girl. She
Catholic.
would
You
know. I
got
don't
to
know.
count back,
Yeah.
what, 41
Wednesday.
days, right?
Ash
Ash
Wednesday.
I said when? No, I said Saturday.
Yeah, you did. Ash Saturday.
It was a day that ends in a Y.
Slightly cloudy Thursday.
You only need a light
That was
jacket.
outstanding. So good.
Standing.
Outstanding.
I only tell
What's the
jokes
name of
whenever
the
he logs
horse?
on.
Shucks, it's
Hold
good
on,
to
we
see
couldn't hear you because Chris and Chauncey are rude.
I'm sorry for being rude.
It's true.
What's the name of the horse in Jingle Bells?
The horse?
Is it?
Jingle bell, jingle. No, that's
yeah.
Jingle Bell Rock. Dashing through the snow.
Is it
One
Elmer?
horse open sleigh.
It's a one-horse open sleigh. I don't know what his name is.
Dancing all the way.
Bobtail.
Bell on Bobtail's ring.
I would not have.
Oh, Bob's
Bells
tail.
on
Never have known.
No, I didn't
ring.
even know that was
just
the name.
now learned that is the name of,
Why did you
of
think
the
I was
horse.
How
singing?
old were you when you
I
first
was
learned?
Chris. I was
this minute.
today
I was
years
today
old.
years old.
Today
Can I just
years
say this?
old.
Can I just say this? Can I say this? What? I had no idea. I had
Named their
no
horse
clue.
Bob, like
Right?
Bobtail.
Exactly.
I think
Okay.
that's a
You know what I'm saying?
fantastic name for
Wait a
it.
minute.
My best friend has a horse named Merle.
Hold on.
that's a
Who-
great horse name, Merle. I
Okay,
know.
wait. I want you to think about
You know
the
what I'm saying?
questions you're asking. Who would name a horse Seabiscuit or Secretariat or any of these Man of War or Admiral?
Actually, Man of War is pretty cool, but
But you get what I'm saying? I mean, come on. All right, keep going.
Man of sorrow.
Who wrote Rose is a rose is a rose?
Rose.
Rose gotta be.
We don't know.
No,
Rose Nyland.
Who did the
Bobtail. Bobtail the horse. Bobtail the horse. wrote it.
Rosebud. The movie Rosebud is
Oh.
from
Gertrude Stein.
Gertrude Stein.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know.
Gertrude.
It's Gertie.
Gertie.
These questions have gotten so much harder than they used to be.
Yeah,
Can
these-
I just
I
say
feel
that?
like
they
they're-
were not this hard.
She's on hard
It's
mode.
almost more fun to try to come up with answers when we don't know the answers, though.
Oh, that's what
Oh, it
because
is
it's
fun.
entertaining.
It is fun.
That's all I
Alright.
do.
You guys have actually been guessing?
Just throwing it
doing it
against the
wrong.
wall. See what sticks.
Who was the last to sit on the peacock throne?
The Peacock Throne? Hold up.
Johnny Carson.
Yeah. Peacock Throne.
I
Where's
wish I had watched Game of Thrones.
I was just gonna say the
start
mother
throwing out
name.
names.
Mother of Dragons.
Was it
Daenerys Targaryen.
Shaha.
Paul
Can't
Anka.
even
Aragorn.
say the name.
Okay, then don't say it because
Gertrude.
nobody knows. Gertrude Stein.
was it Bob?
Gertrude Bobtail Stein.
A moose once bit my sister.
Seabiscuit. Lindsay, just read it. Just read the question. Doesn't matter.
Colder. North,
What's the answer?
Will you stop? She reads and then you talk. It's you're. There's no worse human being right now.
Breathe.
I can't play with you. This game is stupid.
Trivial Pursuit brings out the worst in the Christians. Come join us, Trivial Pursuit.
That was you that time.
Oh, I know.
Which is colder, the North or the South Pole?
The South
South.
Pole.
South.
That's where the penguins live.
Yeah, South Pole. I was hoping for a little bit more of a debate on that.
No, come on. Southern Hemisphere.
What is commonly considered the fifth sense?
Touch.
Like
Yes.
Is it touch?
Yes.
Night. Chauncey killing it
1,
today.
2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Good.
But how'd you know what order they went in? Like,
Right, yeah,
He's
how-
all talking. He's all talking like,
always
dude, this
first.
is
Hey,
one.
hey, he was in season and
It's
out of
actually
season.
1,
Leave him
2.
alone.
Not for blind people.
All right, next question. Incorrect.
What
We're
city
inclusive.
harbor does the Little Mermaid grace?
What city harbor?
Boston.
It's in it's in Italy. Wait, Little Mermaid
I
as in
don't
the
know.
Disney?
Well, I'm guessing they're talking about the statue.
Oh, it's got to be somewhere in Orlando.
I don't know.
Are there harbors?
SeaWorld?
over there?
Norway. Puxatawny.
Phil.
Copenhagen?
Copenhagen.
Copenhagen? Nice.
I thought that was true.
Denmark.
You know,
I was going to
gotta-
say Savannah, Georgia.
Ragnar, he be rolling over around in his grave right now. He's like,
Yeah.
Denmark got mermaids in the bay.
That's right. He's like, I'm dealing with men made out of stone.
What did Andy Hardy's father do for a living?
He was a plumber.
Andy Hardy.
Andy Hardy.
Is that Paul Harvey's father?
Andy Hardy. So we got to figure out who's Andy
No.
Hardy. Is that like one of the Hardy Boys? I bet it is.
Probably.
He's a doctor.
Nurse.
He
Final answer.
He's a judge.
Oh, okay.
Judge Joe Brown.
I was more of a Johnny Quest guy.
See, and I was more He-Man, She-Ra, but no, that's me.
By the power of mom.
Yes, exactly.
Gem.
What did the title character in John Fowley's The Collector collect?
Bones.
No, people, I bet.
Dead bodies.
I'm just going to go with the obvious and say money.
Butterflies.
Of course.
My 37th guess.
I was going to say racehorses, but,
What is the capital of Delaware?
Newark. No, that's New Jersey. Delaware.
Bill would know this too.
Dover.
Come on, you know.
Dover.
I'm just letting you guys go.
It is Dover.
What did you? I didn't know that. Yeah, it's fine. Like I'm okay with not knowing that.
I'm from Philadelphia. I had to know the surrounding.
Yeah, I
Carry
should.
on.
I should.
What's the name of the MGM Lion?
Horace.
Well, it's Metro Goldwyn
Was it
Mayor.
Chester?
They want the name of the
Was it
lion.
Chester?
Pixie.
That sounds like Pixie.
I'm gonna go
Pixie the lion.
Bobtail. His name was Bobtail.
Horace or Merle.
No, we don't know. Mike.
Leo.
What? Leo?
Leo.
Well, that makes sense. All right.
Lame.
A few more. 'cause this is
Lame-o.
horrible. I just want to kill myself. right now.
Who painted self-portrait with bandaged ear?
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
It gotta be Van Gizzo. Van Gogh.
That guy.
Vincenzo.
What animal's tail is called a brush?
Bobcat. Bobtail, whatever his name is. What animal's tail is called a brush?
Lion.
A red panda. I saw one
adorable.
today. They're really
I don't know.
cute.
A
They're really-
platypus.
I don't think they got tails though.
A beaver.
Fox.
Platypus. A
Red
fox.
pandas? Yeah, they do.
Little long tail.
Foxes.
Yeah, what did the fox say?
The Little Mermaid.
I know foxes don't say that.
And how many colored
Okay.
balls are
Good
there
line.
in the pocket billiards?
15. Oh, wait. Is this the difference between stripes and solids?
No,
Yeah, you're
you
gonna
had
just
it
want the
right
colored,
there.
so not the stripes. I think it's just want the solids. I don't know. We don't know.
Wouldn't they all be colored except for the white ball?
I don't know.
You
White
had it
ball.
right the first
It's
time.
15, right?
White.
It is 15.
Always a white people. White balls.
Bro, I'm.
What is it?
We should play some pool.
They
That was
even
it, that
call
was
it a
it.
Q, and they didn't even call them white, right?
How
Is this
many
wrong with
wings
people?
on a flea?
How many what?
How many wings does a flea?
0.
2.
2.
Fleas can fly. What is this crazy world?
They just jump really
I thought they
far.
jumped. Yeah.
Is it 2?
It is 0.
It's 0.
Thank you. Thank you.
Killing it tonight.
No, you're not.
World's
Bro, you should owe me
largest
lunch.
Imagine if the plague was
cathedral.
airborne. Just
We
World's
can't hear
largest-
you because, again, rude people in here, and you're not loud enough. What is it?
I'm sorry.
No, it's
No,
not
it's
your
not
fault.
your fault.
It's their fault.
It's completely Shannon the Wise.
It
Go
is
ahead.
all me.
The world's largest cathedral.
The
Saint
Vatican?
Augustine.
Is the Vatican considered a cathedral?
is
Notre Dame.
is what's the in Istanbul? Is that a cathedral? It's not
No.
anymore. It's a mosque now, isn't it?
No, that's
Used to be
yeah.
a cathedral.
You talking about Taj Mahal?
I don't know.
No, I'm talking
Oh.
about the big dome.
We
We
don't-
rock.
Peter's.
What? St.
St.
Peter's?
Peter's.
St. Peter's.
And Russia, right?
No.
No, in the Vatican.
St. Peter's in the
City.
Vatican.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah, but
not
that's not the
a cathedral.
cathedral.
That's actually
the
a
whole
city.
place.
It's
Yeah.
a whole place.
What country are you from? Oregon.
I've actually been there. It's great. This is so awesome. Where national championships don't exist.
Bro,
that's
I'm gonna stab him.
unfortunately
I'm
true.
gonna. We've got more than Gators.
I'm a Mariners.
No, you
fan.
don't.
Let me
It's
tell
just
you
not
about
in-
what I'm feeling.
No, you don't. We've
Football.
already resolved this multiple times. No, you don't. Not even close.
Yes, we do.
No, you don't. We have resolved this together on the live stream.
I'm sorry. Could we get the next question? I'm
Oh
sorry,
my
he's being
gosh.
rude.
Next question,
Sorry, he's
please.
being rude.
What
Yes, we do.
TV shows features E.G. Marshall and Robert Reed as father and son lawyers?
What TV show?
TJ,
No.
Night Court.
No, it's
It's gotta be night.
No, it's older than that. It's something like My Three Sons or something like that. It's not that though.
I knew it wasn't.
No.
TJ Hooker.
Marvel.
I love
We
Night
can't
Hooker.
hear you at all. She's trying to talk.
Defenders.
The Defenders.
Mm.
All right, last one. This is literally the worst time I've ever had in my life.
Only because I'm winning.
I mean,
No, it's really not that.
It is.
worst game ever.
I just can't get Sandy to stop talking.
Which side of a book are
The left.
even numbered pages usually on?
The
The
right.
left.
left.
The left.
The left.
The left.
Oh, thank God. It's
I
over.
started with left.
Just put us out of our misery. All right, we're done. I'm not doing anymore. I can't do it. I can't stand it.
I can't stand it.
I'm sorry you lost.
That's I am too.
Man, he's a poor loser.
I am. It was the whole national championships debacle.
Just 3 out the game. I get it.
TJ was in the house. TJ Wong.
Badminton. Go Beavs.
Badminton. Oh, my goodness. You know what? I'm a Beaver fan.
No, you're not.
I am.
How can you be a Beaver fan and a Duck fan? How
I
does that
want the
work?
Beavers
I'm a
to win
platypus.
every
Yeah.
game they don't play the Ducks.
That's actually valid.
Then you're not a fan.
I'm not a fanatic, but I am
What
a
is
fan.
the word fan short for?
Fanatic.
Thank you.
But there's a difference.
No, there's not. It's a
There's
short.
absolutely
It's short
a
for the
difference.
word.
There's absolutely a difference. You
Oh,
can
no.
be a fan without being a fanatic.
How about you're a supporter?
Okay.
'Cause
I'm
that
a
sounds-
Beaver
that sounds
believer.
dumb.
Then you're not a Duck fan.
I'm a Beaver believer.
I'm a Duck fan and a Beaver believer.
Wrong. Impossible.
Impossible?
No, can't happen.
Okay.
You would never survive the state of Florida. Never.
I've
Never.
lived
Because
in
it's
the
really
state of
hot.
Florida.
And
no,
see,
I
and
loved
I-
it.
And I bet
No.
you never talked to anybody.
Oh,
Boy,
I talked to everybody.
I thought that I had seen like
Bugs?
civil
Oh, Civil
the
War.
Civil War type stuff
Yeah,
until you get to
Indiana.
Indiana
No,
and you
it's
have
crazy.
IU versus Purdue, which
Oh,
I've
yeah.
heard Bill
Oh,
say
yeah.
things,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
then
yeah.
you see it like
It's
in
listen,
real time.
Listen,
Wow.
I'm just going to be real with you now. Out here, compared to pretty much everywhere else I've lived, no, there's no comparison. This is not a rivalry out here.
It
No,
is.
no, it's not.
It's just not cutthroat.
It's not.
And
Listen,
we're just more spread out. Oregon's way bigger. Y'all got way.
it's
way
not
less space on the
bigger.
East
It's
Coast.
no, it's not even the East Coast. I mean, there's
And in the
in the
South.
mid in the mid America where she is, you have
But-
things like Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana,
Yeah,
Purdue.
well,
You
yeah.
get into the
Well,
South
also
when you
Michigan versus Michigan State too.
get yeah, that's nothing like Michigan, Ohio State.
No, it's a bigger rivalry, but Michigan State. Don't say that's
No,
not
it's a rivalry,
Okay.
but not like Michigan, Ohio State. They'll kill you.
Oh, I know.
But that's like Auburn, Alabama.
You can't.
Well, that's like
here's
Notre
the thing.
Dame and
Here's what he's trying to
Michigan.
say. You can be in a place wearing the wrong jersey. You won't get service.
Oh, no doubt about
For
it.
real?
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
They will be like,
Absolutely.
no sir,
Soccer's that way out
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Like if you wear a Timbers jersey up into Seattle,
oh no,
Really?
sir. The
I've been
Sounders are up
spit
there.
on.
Yeah.
Whoa,
like-
I didn't know it was that bad.
It's that bad. It's like hooligans.
It must have been just
bad.
after the game.
Yeah, you don't want to do that in
Put yourself in the middle,
no
Lindsay.
way.
I don't even know how you do sports. Take the Christian right out of you, man. Like
I remember in
in
hockey.
They make
This
less
is a
space
true
to
story.
Christian
The
right
Panthers were playing the Lightning. Now,
Both
these are
Florida
two
teams.
expansion teams in Florida. Panthers are playing the Lightning in the playoffs. This is 20 years ago, and the Panthers won in Tampa. They were like throwing like hard things at the players as they're leaving. The goaltender is covering his mask, and they're covering themselves
Yeah.
getting out while people are throwing stuff.
stuff at
And
them.
I'm thinking,
That's insane.
you'd be glad I didn't go to that game wearing my Panthers jersey or something like that.
I'll
Could you
give you
imagine?
one worse. This is the worst. The Philadelphia, the stadium's been demolished. The Philadelphia Veterans Stadium.
Oh yeah, rough place to go.
Rough place. They
Yeah.
had a judge in a jail under the stadium because so often people went over the limit and had to be arrested.
Eagles and Giants, boy, that's a problem right there.
It's a problem, but it wasn't as bad as when the Cowboys came and whooped on it. When the Cowboys were in their run where they got the 3 Super Bowl titles, they came to Philadelphia and
Terrible
whooped. And they call it the Ice Bowl because it was snowing and it was frozen snow. At halftime, they pummeled the Cowboys sideline to the point where it got really bad. And at the end of the game, they gave Emmitt Smith a concussion, Michael Irving a broken jaw with an ice. They
were
were
just fans.
These are just fans throwing
That's
ice
bad,
balls.
bad news.
They were just the whole game sitting there making them. So when they went to run out the tunnel, they had to put their helmets on. They just pummeled the team.
See, people need Jesus. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, they absolutely need Jesus.
People, especially those people in Philly.
man.
Yeah, especially those people in Philly. You are 100% right. They need cheesesteaks and Jesus. That's the real.
All right. So I want to thank Sandy for being here, helping us produce the show.
Thank you, Miss.
The
Thanks,
lovely,
Sandy.
the lovely Lindsay Kimmerstein. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Shannon, it is great to see you. And you head back when?
Tomorrow morning.
Well, you have fun with that. May God bless you and give you safe travels.
Yes,
Very-
thank
We're gonna
you.
pray for you.
yeah, we will. And Chris, thanks for being here.
Yes,
Thanks for
sir.
having me.
Appreciate that. Chauncey, you can stay home next Tuesday if you want. Sorry. All right. So you guys know what we're going to do, right? 3, 2, 1. Go tell somebody about Jesus. Get out of here.
Give me them trombones.
My bro just came from Dubai and I was for a while, but I told him that's madness.
Madness.
Good Lord. I don't know what it is. Those trivia questions have gotten so
Those were
much
terrible.
harder.
Those were the easiest ones
were
you
the
ever
worst
had,
trivia
bro.
questions
I was
Bizarre.
killing it.
Those were bizarre ones.
They
I
were.
mean, they were just all over. I mean, I don't know somebody like anybody from the Olympics from the 1970s. I'm sorry.
Oh, you do. You just don't realize you do.
Not.
Nadia
All right.
Comaneci, you've never heard of her?
Who?
I'm gonna
Nadia
run,
Comaneci, she
'cause I
scored the
gotta-
first perfect
Thank
10.
you so much for
Yeah.
coming. And
Olga
hanging
Corbett.
out with us.
Bruce Jenner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
Okay, he's from the 70s. He's from, I think, the 76 Olympics, maybe 72.
that's right.
But yeah, Mary Lou Retton, that was 84.